I had a studio at my Jersey spot. Before I relocated, I had a big wall with a bunch of signatures. And I cut this out, DITC Flamboyant Entertainment, 139th Street. The great Hank Shock Lee, a producer from the Bomb Squad, somebody I really looked up to. I mean, really, really looked up to. The earlier work they did with Public Enemy, the Public Enemy albums, that shit was epic. My man Common, he had a tag up here, so I just cut that out. My man Mark the Spark from Brand Nubians. Big L signed this about a month before he was murdered in Harlem. So it's real special to me. Big L, that's his throw up. Yeah, what's up? This is Diamond D. You're watching Crate Diggers. Growing up in the Bronx, I just happened to just grow up around it. Probably my first introduction is probably Grand Wizard Theodore. You would hear tapes of Bambaataa, Cold Crush 4. I wasn't really into the MC aspect as a kid. Like, my thing was just the beats. The beats, really the break beats, that's really what intrigued me. So, sometime I might stand by the ropes for like maybe 2 or 3 hours, just trying to get a glimpse of the album covers. I'm a little kid doing this, 10, 11 years old. That's when I really, really got into, wanting to collect beats. Everybody knows this album. Of course, this is the Incredible Bongo Band, Apache original album. This was inspired from the movie The Two-Headed Thing with Rosie Greer. It blew up, and as a result of that, they gave them an album deal. Of course, Kool Herc brought this out. This is like the #1 breakbeat, b-boy breakbeat, rather, I say. The story behind this is, I guess I'm about 10 or 11 years old. There was a store in New York called Crazy Eddie. His prices are insane. I'm on Fordham Road with my mom's, and we go in there, and I see the record on the wall. So I start going crazy. Oh, Mom, da, 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 da. So she said, well, how much is it? I think it might have been maybe $8.99, which isn't a lot of money now, but back then, the average record might have been like $5.99. The average album, like the average Teddy Pendergrass or Marvin Gaye or Cameo, whatever was out in the late 70s. So she wanted to know, why should she pay $8.99 for some fucking bongo record? And she said, yeah, his prices are insane because I'm not buying this shit for you. So boom, so we left. I don't know, I think I got good grades or whatever, and she finally broke down and bought the record. So I play it, and she's looking at me like, yo, I paid almost $10 for a 6-second drum beat. You out of your mind? A few weeks later, I got some more money together, and I bought another one. But this is actually the original one I kept. So thank you, Mom. Most kids my age were spending their money on candy or pinball or shit like that. I was more or less saving whatever money I got my hands on, and I would walk down the 3rd Avenue about 2 miles away. I would walk there and after school and just buy records. The same thing like Jazzy Jeff said. It's just, I don't know, it's just hard to explain. Some people just got it like that. Yeah, it's the Mother's Freedom Band. I know all my beat heads know about this joint right here. There's some ill drums on here. Just some funk shit. And this look like some shit that you would buy if you didn't know what it was. You know what I mean? Got the little shorty on there, little man, little dingling out. Crazy. And yeah, it's just some definite funk right here, for real. With me, it's more or less quality than quantity. At one time, I might have had about 30,000 records. There's about 15,000 records here. All my rap 12 inches in my garage, and I have another storage spot. Just right here, I keep basically the cream of the crop right here. All originals. These are all drums. Got seven solid crates of drums. They're alphabetized. They're not in genre, just alphabetized by artists. The Flaming Ember. Bambaataa put us up on this. This is what I used on Stunts, Blunts, and Hip Hop for Gotta Get Away. This is also one of the records that me being around Jazzy J, I became aware of. Prior to that, I just had a cassette and I just walk around singing the beat to any record store owner that you know, would listen, basically. Yeah, this is big. This is big to me right here. Let's talk about this as far as weird records are concerned. This is a Sesame Street breakbeat. I first heard it on old Bambaataa Zulu Nation tapes, Grandmaster Flash, Theodore. It's just ill because it's a Sesame Street record, but you know, this used to rock the party for real, for real. It's just one of those things, you know, you wouldn't expect for some drums to be on this. That's the thing about digging, you know, you never know what you're gonna find. This one time, mid-90s, we went digging together, me, Q-Tip, and my man Spearhead X. You know, I'm looking, and Tip says, yo, you got this record right here. At the time, I didn't have it. This is the Electric Prunes release of an Oath. Crazy, illmatic, psychedelic rock, funk record. When I got home, I was blown away by this album, like literally. Nobody had used it yet either in hip hop. I just thought it was kind of ill for Q-Tip to drop the jewel on me, unselfishly. Matter of fact, I found my copy of the Grunt, original Grunt by the J.B.s on King label. I found that 45 at my neighbor's house. Shout out to Richard Dean, Sharon, and Lisa. I don't know what I was doing over there. But anyway, I went through the 45s and I said, oh, shit. And this is right around the time when Rebel Without a Pause was out, Public Enemy. So I was aware of it, but I didn't have it. And I remember I was like, yo, you know, I'll buy this off you, you know. And they was like, that old record, take it. You know, but it had no value to them, you know what I mean? And if I wasn't a James Brown beat head, it wouldn't have had no value to me. But I remember I went home and I was like, wow, I can't believe it. I came up on a Grunt. And I still have it too. Our legacies are cemented. You know what I mean? And hats off to Kanye, you know, but Kanye, he's let it be known, you know, in one or two publications that he more or less was influenced by the likes of myself and Pete Rock and Premier. I mean, you know, he's going on record to say that. So, you know, the respect is there. What you got to do now is just, you know, just add on to that legacy. You know, so that's where we at right now.